Welcome to Golden Software's video training for Surfer 13. Surfer is a versatile gridding, contouring, and surface mapping software package. In this video, I will cover how to create and edit contour maps. In this welcome dialog, you can create a new plot or worksheet, open an existing project file, or access the tutorial. We'll begin a new project by clicking the New Plot button in the New section on the left. A contour map can be created from any grid file. A grid file can be created in Surfer from XYZ data, created in a third-party software program, or downloaded from the internet. In this demonstration, we will use one of the sample grids that comes with Surfer. To create a contour map from a grid file, click Map, New, Contour Map. Select the grid file, and click Open. The contour map is created with the default properties. To edit the properties of this map layer, select the Contours layer in the Object Manager. All of the properties for the contour layer are displayed in the Property Manager. Changing any of the properties in the Property Manager will automatically update the map. The General page contains many general options. In the General section, next to the file name in the Grid File field, you can click the Open Grid button to change or reload the grid file used to create the contours. You can click the Save Grid button to save the grid out to a new grid file, or you can click the Grid Info button to generate a grid information report about the grid file. You can smooth jagged contours by clicking the drop-down list in the Smoothing field and selecting from the list of smoothing options. You can set the fault line properties, if the grid used to create the contour map has a fault in it. In the Blanked Region section, you can set the fill and line properties of any blanked regions in the map. The Levels page contains the display properties for the contours themselves. In the General section, the first field is the level method. Depending on your selection there, the rest of the fields on this page will change. There are three level method options: Simple, which shows most options for linear contours in the Property Manager; Logarithmic, which shows options in a similar way to Simple, but with options customized for logarithmic contours; and Advanced, which offers further controls over some of the finer details of the map, such as adding hashers or customizing contour labels. We'll go ahead and leave the level method set to Simple. The next three fields in the General section define how many contour lines will be drawn and what values they will represent. The minimum and maximum Z values from the grid file, displayed in the Data Range section at the very top of the page, help you determine a good range for your contour values. You can set the minimum contour, maximum contour, and contour interval to whatever you like by typing new values into the field. And you can change these back to the default values by clicking the Reset Levels button. Surfer allows you to differentiate between major and minor contour lines with the Major Contour Every field. If you don't want different major and minor contour lines, you can set this to 1. Otherwise, you can set this to any value. To specify that every fourth contour is a major contour, we will set this to 4. In the Filled Contours section, you can check the box next to Fill Contours to fill the spaces between the contours with color. The color that the spaces are filled with is determined by the color map, specified in the Fill Colors field. You can click on the existing color map to specify one from the list of presets, or you can click the Custom Color Map button to open the color map editor where you can define a custom color map. Check the box next to Color Scale to add a color scale to the right side of your map. You can click and drag the color scale to move it, and you can edit its properties in the Property Manager. We'll leave the default settings and click back to our contour map layer to keep editing the levels. The next two sections allow us to set the line properties for the major and minor contours and define whether or not labels display on them. We will change the major line color to dark brown and increase the width. And then we will change the minor line style to dashed. Change the color to gold, and turn on labels. The Labels section contains font and format properties for all of the labels, as well as a checkbox defining label orientation. Changes made here apply to both major and minor contour labels. As an example, we'll set the font color to blue and decrease the size a bit. And then we'll change the format type to fixed with 0 decimal digits. And we'll add a suffix of m to signify the contours are displayed in units of meters. You may have noticed that as things like the font size and the number of decimal digits changed the label lengths, the number of labels displaying on the map changed. This is due to the tolerance settings for the labels. If your contour map isn't displaying enough labels, you can either change the level method to advanced to adjust the advanced label settings, or you can move the labels to a smoother portion of the contour line. To move the contour line labels, click Map, Edit Contour Labels, or right-click on the map and click Edit Contour Labels. Each label is outlined with a blue box. Click and drag a label to move it along the contour line. Press Ctrl on your keyboard and click on a contour line to add a label to it. And press the Delete key on your keyboard to delete the selected label. Press Escape on your keyboard when you're done to exit the label editing mode. The Layer page is where you control the opacity of the entire contour map layer. We can adjust the opacity percentage by using the slider bar, or by clicking on the number itself and typing a new value. The Coordinate System page presents the coordinate system of the grid file used to create the contour map. If there is not a coordinate system assigned to the grid, the name will say Unreferenced Local System. If this is the case, you can set the coordinate system by clicking the Set button, selecting the appropriate coordinate system, and clicking OK. The Info page displays information about the selected objects. For objects in a base map, this information could include length or area measurements or attribute information. But for contour maps, there usually isn't any information to display here. This concludes the video training for creating and editing contour maps in Surfer 13. If you have any additional questions, please contact Golden Software.